As you really would, and welcome to my Iron Man 3 review.
Why did you break up the sun?
So Marvel is back with Phase 2. This is set after the Avengers, and I've been really looking forward to this movie. And expectations for this movie have been very interesting, got some mixed reviews. Some people were going to love this movie, some people are going to hate this movie. It does a direction which I think a lot of people are going to be, pissed, especially the hardcore comic book fans.
Was actually a big disappointment for me.
Being a fan of the Iron Man comic books, I was not happy.
But I can sort of see why they did it in the actual movie. I thought myself it was quite clever and it kind of threw me off guard. But other people are going to what the fuck kind of thing, It's going to be very interesting to see other people's opinions on this. I've seen lots of different reviews already on YouTube. So I suppose it's cutting people in the middle, definitely. Which is why I can understand if people are disappointed by this movie. There's a really good quote in the movie: everything changed when a guy with a hammer came out of the sky. And that's kind of the point of the movie. It's more set in a comic book world where kind of, gods and aliens exist and, nothing is what it was, especially with the first two Iron Man movies. Everything has changed now. And some of the things that happen with the so-called bad guys in this movie is very comic book-y style, if you get me, which a lot of people are going to be pissed. A lot of people are going to be like, yeah, I like that, I can on board with that. Basically the movie does a twist halfway through which is going to divide people, and it's very interesting, this movie is, to see. So for Iron Man 3, set after the Avengers of course, and Tony Stark is back in Malibu and he can't sleep. He's having these anxiety attacks, he's very paranoid, he's keeping busy in his workshop, he's making a lot of these Iron Man's suits and twinkling and doing lots of little gadgets, and he's really the events that happened in New York has really affected him, and it's exactly what I wanted it to do. It's his character's changed massively in this movie. It's definitely a character story-driven movie, not like the second one. The second one was more like, he's dying, his ego's getting in the way, and he's just doing stupid things, and the humor was a bit hit and miss in that movie. Wasn't the best movie, I have to admit. The second one was not. This one, there's a very different take. It's like all the movies, the first two Iron Man movies, the Avengers, it's all gone onto this, and he's basically trying to think, who actually am I? He's putting the ego aside a little bit in some of the places. Don't get me wrong, it's still funny as ever, he's still Tony Stark, but his character's growing up now. He realises that, Pepper Potts, his girlfriend, is the most treasured thing in his life. He cannot lose that, and we discover in the movie that, his greatest weapon is his mind, and that's what I love about the movie. It's very kind of James Bond with a Marvel twist in it, in a sense, a little bit in places. He's back to kind of the first one's so good, using boxes of scraps and making these really cool gadgets, and he's, you see more Tony Stark in this one than you actually do the Iron Man, but when you do see Iron Man, it is fucking awesome. No doubt about that, the action for this movie is seriously awesome, but at the same time, it's done really, really well. Tony Stark's character, Robert Dowley Jr, steals the show. He's awesome in this movie, seriously awesome. And of course we have a brand new villain, the Mandarin, and of course, Tony has to stop his plans. Now the film for me, I felt was very enjoyable. I knew exactly what I was going in for when watching this movie. I knew exactly what to expect. I had some very interesting reviews, people say, just keeping this in mind, and that's exactly what I did. I kept a couple of things in mind and actually turned out to enjoy it. At the same time, it didn't blow me away like, say, the first Iron Man movie or the Avengers or anything, but at the same time, it was enjoyable, it was funny, it was dark and serious, it was, a lot of good elements to it mixed in it, and of course, Shane Black, fantastic director, really great choice. He's one of my favourite kind of comedy / dark thrillers, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, fantastic movie. And a lot of people, if you've seen the trailer enough times and you're kind of thinking, you know what you're going to see in this movie, if you're a fan of the first two Iron Man movies, you're thinking kind of like a realistic kind of action movie, the Mandarin's going to kick ass, the comics, and you kind of get something else which you weren't expecting. The movie is definitely funny, probably one of the most funniest Iron Man movies I've ever seen. Tony Stark is absolutely hilarious in this movie. Robert Dowley Jr. has been as funny as he's ever been, perfectly honest. It's so great. Just the dialogues that he spouts out, especially with him and his Pepper Potts, here with Joyous and this little kid and stuff, just really fantastic, really, really funny. The characters are really well done, very enjoyable cast. There's a kid in this movie which usually would really, really annoy me.
Are you an angel?
Robert Dowley Jr. of course is fantastic in this movie. I think he shines the most out of all the characters. Obviously it's an Iron Man movie, but I think he's one of his best performances yet. I love what happens to his character, I love the journey from start to finish. Guy Pearce also in this movie, and they actually used him. Unlike that cameo in Prometheus, Hollywood, you're actually using great actors. Well done. Ben Kingsley, of course, is in this movie. The Mandarin, a fantastic actor. I deeply respect him. Absolutely fantastic. You know, he is awesome in this movie. You know, you'll never see me coming. Just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I love what he does with his voice. He's a great character in this movie. The action is fun, it's exciting. It will blow you away in some places. Some very different, well done action scenes. So much I really can't tell you because it was spoiler reasons. But you're going to guarantee some well done action in this movie for sure. Fantastic choreography, I have to say. Overall, I would say if you're planning on watching Iron Man 3, keep in mind it's in a comic book world now. It's after the Avengers. You know, things are different now. It's not in that kind of realistic terms. There are references, of course, to the Avengers, and some of the things that happen in this movie, especially the second half of the movie, you kind of like, you have to have that, you know, that foreground in mind that is a comic book world now kind of sense. It's more of a character movie. This one is, you know, Tony Stark is kind of finding himself more, and he's kind of dealing with, you know, what's happened within the all the other movies, you know, put together kind of thing. And it's gone to this kind of point within the trilogy where it ends really, really well. I think, personally honest, I really enjoyed what they did. You got some amazing action scenes, some fantastic, witty, funny dialogue. Remember to stay after the credits also for a little cameo appearance. I always like to do these in these Marvel movies, kind of set up, you know, the movies. Really well done. I think personally it was really, really funny, really well done. So that's been my review for Iron Man 3. I hope you enjoyed watching this review. Have you seen the movie? What do you think? Please, no spoilers. This is going to be a spoiler-free video. I actually am going to do a spoiler review very soon to express my opinions even more about the movie and what I thought about it. So what do you think of the movie? Comment down below with your opinions. So I'm Andrew TV. Signing out.